The Austin started as a basic rolling chassis and kind of half an engine, which I found advertised in a local car club. I've always had an interest in Austin 7s for some strange reason, because of their diminutive size, I guess. So I bought it as a rolling chassis, which needed completely refurbishing. And then, having got it chassis, engine and gearbox all together, I then decided what style of body would I like. So, having trained as a furniture maker, it seemed natural to use wood for the body, and that was built up with a combination of wood, fabric, ply, whatever came to hand really, based loosely on a photograph that I had of one that was built back in the 30s. So it's a two-seater sort of racing car-ish, based loosely on a photo, and I literally made it up as I went along really. If it fitted, then it sort of worked. So this is basically what I started with, which is a rolling chassis, engine, gearbox, and then the first thing I did was drop the steering column down to give more of a rake and a lower body height. Once that's set, seat is then set, distance away from the pedals, and then you can start building dash behind the steering wheel. Bonnet height is obviously then set, and everything else just kind of fits in around, and then mud guards as and where they're needed. The car drives pretty much as I imagined it. It's not terribly fast, but it's fast enough because it's got cable brakes on all four wheels, so they're not the most efficient brakes. So the kind of top speed is enough when you're dealing with that kind of stopping distance. It is fun to drive. It always gets people turning heads, people waving, and in the summer I generally try and drive it pretty much every day. I go out with my son in it, and he just loves it. So when he gets home from school, we normally take it out every day because that's what he looks forward to. And fuel economy is just ridiculous. I've filled it up probably a couple of times, so it's good fun to drive. I've been building model cars now for probably 25 years. It was a job for a model maker for a company in Woking, and that company happened to be owned by an ex-Lord Mayor of London who had a private collection of Jaguars sitting at home. And he was wandering around the workshop one day looking at what we were doing, happened to like what he saw and just said out of the blue, "How do you fancy making a model of my E-Type Jag that I've got sitting at home?" Which seemed like a good thing to do. He then loved that, took it back and thought, let's do the whole collection. His mates all saw them. They had collections of Bentleys, Rolls, and it just kind of snowballed from there. In total, I've built about 80 models. A lot of those are for the Haynes Motor Museum down in Somerset, who I've been doing work with for 15, 20 years. I guess probably half of those are in the museum collection, the rest are private clients. I have got a list somewhere. Every time I do one, I write it on the list, so it's a little handwritten list that I have of all the cars.